Hi, and welcome to Terry Talks Movies, and this is a different environment than usual. I'm down here at Wyndham Harbour. I'm going to review some movies sitting by the waterfront. Let's have a look around there. He said, moving this. There are all the boats in the harbour, and here is me. Basically, what I'm reviewing is the movies that I saw so far this year. There are seagulls around, by the way, and little birds in the palm trees here. About 20 degrees. It's going to be 38 degrees today, so it's going to be crazy hot. And so I thought I would get the video recorded early, and then I saw that the weather was going to be fine, came down to the harbour. I'm going to do that after I have a drink of water. By the way, just behind me there are some free barbecues. You can actually cook barbecue food here for nothing and have yourself a nice time, but you will be menaced by a small seagull with very orange feet. So what did I watch this month? First thing I watched was from this wonderful Dai Gothic box set that Radiance put out. I spent a little money on it, but it's a great box set. And the character there is the one in the actual movie that I saw, which is a movie called The Snow Woman from 1968. It was directed by Tanaka Tokuzu. Runs about a tight 80 minutes, is in beautiful color, nice aspect ratio. And it's the story of a Yuki-onna, a snow woman, which is a Japanese myth. The same myth was used in the classic anthology horror movie Kwaidan. But Dai decided, about 4 years after Toho made Kwaidan, to make the same story into Snow Woman. The story was actually written down. It was based on a legend, but it was written down by an Irishman who moved to Japan in the late 19th century, a guy called Lafcadio Hearn. And Lafcadio Hearn wrote a whole bunch of ghost stories and mythological stories which popularized Japanese mythology in the Western world and also in Japan. Crazily popular, respected the culture, married a Japanese woman, died in Japan. The Snow Woman is the story of a guy who is a sculptor, and he and the man to whom he's apprenticed go off into a forest during winter to find the perfect tree to carve into a statue of a goddess to be put in the local temple. A snowstorm kicks in. They find a small hut where they take refuge, and a snow woman, a spirit of the snows, comes into the hut and sucks the life energy out of the old man. But the young man is handsome and young and vital, and the snow woman says to him, "I will not kill you, but you may not tell anybody exactly what occurred here. Your master died, but don't tell anybody what happened." And so he doesn't. He goes back to the village, they get the tree, he starts carving it, but he has trouble carving it because he can't quite get the face of the goddess right. And this process takes years. In the meantime, he meets a young woman called Yuki, who helps him out when his master's wife is ill. She's got medical skills. She heals him, they fall in love, they marry, and they have a child. And that's where the story takes a twist. If you've seen Kwaidan, you know the twist. But this version, based on a 4K restoration that was done, and there are a whole bunch of extras on here as well. I'll just give you a quick geek at the extras there. Is beautiful. I don't know whether it's as good as Kwaidan or not. Same story, but two different versions of it. Part of it was filmed in a forest, the initial part, and the rest of it's filmed in studio. And it builds an atmosphere and an ambience that's fantastic. The use of light and shadow and the use of in-camera special effects to convey the supernatural. There's a scene where the snow woman has to, in the middle of summer, get snow to bring down a fever the young boy has. And she makes it snow in one very small part of a hut into a bowl. And that practical effect is done incredibly well. This thing is lovely to look at. It's a classic story, and recommend that if you can get the Dai Gothic box set, which Radiance still has, you're going for a really good time there. I haven't watched the other two movies, which are The Ghost of Yotsuya and The Bride from Hades, but I'm looking forward to watching those. So that's what I watched. Then I went totally in a different direction and watch something different, which I picked up for about $3 on Blu-ray from a thrift store. Shut up. Viva Las Vegas. Watch Viva Las Vegas. There is a seagull right here. I'll see if I can show you. Hang on, let me just turn that around. Just sitting on a fence here. See him there? Little bugger's watching me. Yeah, so I watched Viva Las Vegas. I'm not a great fan of Elvis movies, but I got it for a couple of bucks from the op shop. It's got weird sexual politics in it. Basically, Elvis plays a guy called Lucky, who can sing, who can fly helicopters, who can dance, who also is a racing car driver. And he wants to have his car win a 24-hour race in Las Vegas, which is the climax of the film. He meets a beautiful swimming instructor called Rusty, played by Ann-Margret, and they kind of fall in love. There's a love triangle with a very rich Italian count played by Cesare Danova, and Elvis and Cesare Danova spend half of the movie trying to cock block each other. Weird movie. It's got a few good songs in it, but the cool thing about this, which I love, is that Ann-Margret steals the movie from everybody else. She's just got such a vitality and such a sexiness and acting chops and all the rest of it, that Elvis looks like a total dullard compared to her in this movie, and really doesn't bring his riz to the game. And I love the fact that Ann-Margret just steals the movie from him, even though it's his movie. So I watched that, didn't love it, but I like that dynamic of her just slowly sapping all the attention from Elvis to her. Worked for me. Then I watched the 4K that I like, and I think deserves a sequel. There is talk of a sequel because the producer of the film was James Cameron. But the unfortunate thing is this movie came out during the plague, and so it didn't get a big audience, but it did get a 4K release. Alita Battle Angel, directed by Robert Rodriguez, and it's a banger. It stars Rosa Salazar as basically a cyborg, Christoph Waltz, Jennifer Connelly, Mahershala Ali, Ed Skrein, Jackie Earle Haley, unrecognizable as a giant cyborg bounty hunter. And it looks fantastic too. The special effects of the world building and all the rest in this really worked for me. And I like it. It's a rewatchable movie. It's got a little aspect of rollerball to it. I'm not going to talk about rollerball again because that video still gets comments and arguments with me about the meaning of rollerball. But Alita Battle Angel, I really enjoyed. And on 4K, it looks great. It pops. It is terrific to look at. It's got the usual hero's journey stuff in it, of course. It's set in the year 26-something or other, 300 years after a big war which destroyed most of the technology. And there's one city left hanging in the sky, and everybody has crowded around that city from all over the world. So you get this incredibly dense multicultural ambience and city built underneath another city, which people cannot get to. Great film, a good fun film, like it. It doesn't quite look like anything else. Futuristic cyberpunky world, but I enjoy it a lot when I watch it. Then I decided to do something a bit different. So I went back to the 1950s. And what I watched was a 3D movie, but I don't have the ability to show it in 3D as it is. It's a Kino Lorber release. Jivaro, starring Fernando Lamas, Rhonda Fleming, Brian Keith, Lon Chaney Jr.'s in there as well. Rita Moreno's in there. It's the usual jungle adventure where a jungle river trader called Rio, played by Fernando Lamas, is running a business from his trading post. And the fiance of a guy he knows, he's an alcoholic, the jungle just crushed him, played by Rhonda Fleming, comes to the outpost because she's been told by her drunken fiance that he has a plantation there. But he doesn't. He's just living in a hut with Rita Moreno. Great looking film. Brian Keith's really good playing Tony, the bad guy in this one. There's some of the graphics from it. But it's a very 1950s pop boiler jungle adventure movie. But I love it. I love that kind of stuff. Saturday afternoons, we used to watch this stuff on TV all the time and gobble it up like popcorn. But Jivaro, and two-fisted blokey cover there. I just love that as well. Works for me as a movie. Directed by Edward Ludwig. It's a tight 92 minutes. It's region A, this one. It's got an audio commentary in it, but not too much else. But if you do have a 3D Blu-ray player, you can whack that in and watch the 3D. Pretty obvious when the 3D parts turn up. There are natives throwing spears at people and bolts of cloth being flung around. And there's a brawl scene where they throw pots at each other directly towards the camera. It's just such fun. And it's really groovy to watch. And I enjoyed watching that. There's one last thing, which I haven't watched yet, but I'm going to watch today before I edit this video, because it's one of my favorite films, Noir. Jesus, nice around here at the moment. A classic. Broke up as a star's marriage, but it's a classic. It's got such strong supporting cast. Of course, there's a lady from Shanghai, Orson Welles and Rita Hayworth. Everett Sloane playing Rita Hayworth's character's husband, who's a trial lawyer, and the poisonous chemistry between Rita Hayworth and Everett Sloane is fantastic. Orson Welles plays an Irish sailor who meets a beautiful woman whose husband is a rich trial lawyer and also has a disability, which has made him bitter, because this is the 1940s. And she convinces her husband to get Michael, played by Orson Welles, a job as a sailor on their yacht as they travel around from New York to Mexico through the Panama Canal. And things go wrong when there is a murder and Michael is framed for it. Beautiful movie. Of course, it's got the Hall of Mirrors scene at the end and the bit where Michael's drugged and he goes through a Beijing opera performance and through Chinatown. I just love the ambience of this and the randomness and the back and forth between not only Orson Welles and Rita Hayworth, who were married at the time, and of course Harry Cohn, the head of the studio they worked for, hated the fact that Rita Hayworth got a haircut short for the movie. But Welles and Hayworth do have a lot of charisma together. But Everett Sloane as this poisonous gnome of a trial lawyer, Bannister, is fantastic in it. Good character work there. It's just one of the great films of mine. I'm going to watch it today again. And I love the dialogue in this. It's just chef's kiss. Now and then you've got to revisit classics like that and just refresh your memory of them. And I could do a lot worse than Lady from Shanghai as another movie to watch at the start of this year, where there are going to be a whole bunch of new films coming out that I'm looking forward to as well. Just look over there. Beautiful morning sunlight hitting the wharfs. Should show you that way. Well, if you look that way, there are all the apartments here at Werribee South at the marina at Wyndham Harbour. Let me know if you want me to do more outdoor vlogs, because I can bring a whole bunch of movies and do an outdoor vlog now and then. Hopefully I can edit out some of the bird song that's been a constant while I recorded this. So that's what I got for you this time. An alfresco movie review vlog, recorded, by the way, before I got any coffee this morning. So you're lucky I'm not unconscious. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You can support the channel too by becoming a channel member or by becoming a patron at patreon.com/TerryTalksMovies. Got the midweek video coming up. I'm not sure what I'm doing next on that one, but I'll find something. I probably won't come back here because it'll get warmer and busier later in the week. Or I think it's going to rain about Tuesday, Wednesday. It's Sunday now. There you go, from 38 degree, incredible heat, to rainy and shitty. So until all of that happens, watch some good movies, watch some bad movies, watch some old movies, watch some new movies, and I'll catch you next time.